And welcome to Scott's Amateur Woodshop, aka Scott's Apartment Woodshop. Today I'm here to tell you about what I think should be your first tool purchase if you don't have any woodworking tools at all. And this is a subject of some debate. Some people say it, number 5 jack plane, There's a lot of answers, but for my money, I think what you should do is buy a good knife that you can use to whittle and learn about the structure and the beauty of wood firsthand by whittling, which is a form of woodworking after all. So here's what I would recommend. It's called the Mora 120. It's M-O-R-A, and what you're looking for is a knife with a big handle and a little blade that's very sharp. This sheath used to be longer. I modified it to be shorter because they have kind of a one-size-fits-all sheath. And I've done some other modifications to the sheath, basically just cutting off what I don't need. But this is basically what it looks like. Now to take it out of the sheath, you're going to lock your wrists so they don't do this. And then you're going to grab the sheath in one hand and the rest of the handle in the other hand. And then you're going to tweak your elbows to break the static friction. Now you can pull it out safely without, that way you don't pull it out real hard, jerk it out, and suddenly you have a knife in your hand flying in an unpredictable direction. You never really want that. So it's a beautiful knife. It's got a sharp blade. I think at some point I touched mine up with some bluing fluid, so mine has a little blackened look. It's good to personalize your tools. But this is a great place to start. It's good to start slow and learn to manipulate wood while you're thinking about what you might want to do in the future. So after you get your first tool, you need to find a stick. And I found this one some time ago. I just thought it was interesting. And what I would suggest you do is find a stick that looks interesting, and then don't worry too much about what you're going to turn it into. Maybe a tent peg or something. It could be anything, but a letter opener is another fun one to carve. I'll probably show you how to do that at some point. But what I would do is just try to reveal the beauty inside this stick that you found. So you could make a few cuts. Now I'm going to cut by pivoting off my thumbs like this. That's a great cut, and it's a great one to start with because you're cutting away from yourself. That is kind of a dummy rule. Always cut away from yourself. Now, as you get more advanced, you can use pairing cuts and other cuts safely that are not away from yourself. But wherever the blade might go, your flesh cannot be. So the basic rule is pretty sound. So I'm going to do this up high where you can see it. I'm going to make some cuts, and I'm going downhill along the grain, splitting away fibers, and we're going to see what's inside this stick. Now I've already found that some of this wood is dark and some of this wood is light, so I'm already learning about what's going on with this tree. Is this sapwood and heartwood? Dark heartwood and light sapwood could mean it's in these colors, could mean this is maple. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna maybe carve a different spot. Maybe I'll check out this elbow area and see what I learn. You want to be in a relaxed frame of mind when you do this, and you want to be in playful mode, not goal-oriented mode. Playful mode is a good way to learn. Now, I just cut up to the end here, so I now have a sharp corner right here in Eris. So here's another cut you can do with your knife. This is a parent cut. Now, if you feel ready to do this, you have to make sure when this blade goes towards you, it's not going to hit your thumb. You have to miss your thumb. If you slip and it goes, whoosh, look where it is. It's not cutting me. So that's really important. Okay? Now I can angle this blade so it's cutting downhill along the fibers, but it's also cutting across where I want to cut. so I can put a nice little bevel on here. Okay, so that's another cut you can do. See that little bevel? So I'm just playing and learning, and I think that's where everyone should start. You don't need to build a workbench on day one. You don't need to build a table, a bookcase, a highboy on day one. You need to learn. You want to think about what is it to go with the grain, what is it to go against the grain, what is it to go across the grain. These are good things to think about when you're whittling, right? So, in summary, your first tool, buy a nice knife with a big handle and a small blade. I think this one costs about $30. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Lee Valley. I believe they call it a Frost, or at least it's a very similar knife. We'll be coming at you soon with more videos about tools you want to buy early on, especially if you're in a small space. So don't forget to use the buttons below, like, subscribe, all that, if you like. Of course, it's up to you. And have a beautiful day. All right, bye now.